Welcome to another episode of Farming Together, and today we are in Galloway in Norton, and we are going to be interviewing a farmer, Mr. Makaza, about tomatoes. My name is Estella Masiakrima. Can you please introduce yourself, sir?
Thank you, Elsie. Kurai Makaza. I'm doing horticulture here in Galloway Park, Norton. Okay,
can you tell us about horticulture farming?
Okay, basically horticulture farming is growing of vegetables, in short, in brief. That's what we mean by horticulture. Your tomatoes, your cucumbers, your butternuts, your squashes, and so on.
Okay, so can you please tell us the procedures of growing tomatoes in brief?
Okay. In brief, we do our land preparation, as you see here. We grow tomatoes on ridges.
Okay.
And then we lay our drippers. Then we transplant our tomato seedlings. After transplanting, we apply ammonium nitrate 7 days after transplanting, 14 days after transplanting, and 28 days after transplanting.
Okay.
Then thereafter, the plants should start flowering, and when they start flowering, we start applying calcium nitrate, then potassium nitrate. Okay, we start off by using certified seed. Most farmers think buying seed is an expense. To me, buying seed is not an expense. Seed is an investment. I invest in quality seeds. So I buy a hybrid seed. That's the starting point. Then I follow good agronomy practices in growing my tomatoes. And that ensures that I produce a good quality crop. And I follow a strict spraying program so that I control diseases, so that we produce good quality crop at the end of the day.
Okay, Mr. Makaza, can you tell us the type of tomatoes we have, and can you tell us their differences?
In general, here in Zimbabwe, we have what we call germ tomato, which is oval shaped.
Yes.
And we have the round tomatoes. Then, but of course, we can go into detail. We have what we call determinate tomatoes and indeterminate tomatoes. But that's a bit too technical. In general, the tomatoes that we have here are round tomato. It's very good size round tomato. Yes.
Okay, so what you basically encourage a person out there, the round tomatoes are better to grow than other types, is it?
For table or for the kitchen, most people prefer the round tomato. The germ tomato, the oval shape, is mainly suited for processing. Those who want to do sauces. Want process into sauces. Yes. Okay, so this is our beautiful tomato crop. Now 3 months old. We now have fruit, as you can see. Got some fruit here. It's continuing to flower and giving and setting fruit. We've used these long poles for trellising, and we're using trellising twine, as you can see here, to support our plants. So yeah, it's really looking good.
So can you tell us briefly the challenges you can face in growing tomatoes and how best you can overcome some of these challenges?
Okay. Tomatoes are very prone to diseases. So you need to have an integrated pest and disease control program, your spraying program. You need to have a strict spraying program so that you're on top of the game. And there is this pest, this nuisance of a pest nowadays called Tuta absoluta. You have to have some original chemicals to be on top of the situation. Your belt, your ombligos, your stewards, those are good pesticides to control that menace of a pest. Otherwise, it will wreck your whole crop.
Okay. So can you tell us, let's say for example, someone out there wants to start farming but has no idea what to start with if he wants to grow tomatoes. What are the basic that you have to look at if you want to grow these tomatoes?
Okay. Obviously, you have to have a piece of land, no matter how small.
Yeah.
Some farm tomatoes in their backyards. You must have land, then you must have water. Then it's advisable for tomatoes you invest in drip irrigation.
Okay.
Because tomatoes they don't tolerate flood or sprinkler irrigation.
Okay.
They'll be prone to diseases.
Okay.
So you invest in some drippers so that you use drip irrigation.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe someone is asking out there, what is dripping irrigation? What's the process behind it?
Okay. Drippers are some pipes which have some holes punched into them, which we call emitters.
Okay.
And these discharge water from a source. You can use by gravity. You achieve pressure to emit the water.
Okay.
So that you water. And the drip irrigation is it's soft on the soil. You emit water at some predetermined quantity per hour.
Okay.
Most will emit 2 liters per hour, some 1 liter per hour. So it's a controlled way of irrigating. You know how much water you apply per seed or per plant.
I would like to also know, can you tell us, in which season can we grow tomatoes? Is it seasonal? Is it that they specific season, or there are seasons with challenges?
Okay, tomatoes favor warm to hot climate, and tomatoes are very prone to frost.
Okay.
So when you're growing tomatoes in an open field like here, in open field in winter. They are very prone to frost.
Okay.
So they'll be hit by frost. But otherwise, throughout the year, except winter, you can grow your tomatoes in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Yes. But in the low veld, places like Chirikure, Gokwes, you can still grow your tomatoes even in winter. They are not prone to frost.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you tell us, are there any best way we can preserve tomatoes after harvesting them?
Yes. Tomatoes, there are different stages at which you can harvest tomatoes. I supply supermarkets mainly.
Yes.
They want tomatoes that are what we call champagne ripe. They want you to supply tomatoes when they are very red ripe. Okay, so we supply them at a champagne ripe stage, so they will have a longer shelf life.
Okay.
And like when you're supplying your Mbares, your Katangas, your Sakuva markets, they require you to supply red tomatoes.
Okay, since tomatoes are highly perishable, what advice would you give to farmers?
Okay, we advise farmers to do their market research first.
Okay.
Yeah, so that by the time your tomatoes will start ripening, you know where are you going to be supplying. Are you going to be going for the Mbares? Are you going to be going for supermarkets? And so on.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Makaza, for inviting us here. And viewers, we really learned a lot about tomatoes. I hope you've also picked a lot, and where we were having mistakes, you're going to correct. Thank you so much. For now, it's goodbye.